Michael stared at Daniel. "Emily is spying on me?" he said slowly. Daniel nodded. "Yes." Michael felt anger rising again. "That's ridiculous." Daniel crossed his arms. "Is it?" Michael pointed at him. "You expect me to believe that my wife has been secretly working with you?" Daniel shrugged. "Not with me." Michael frowned. "Then with who?" Daniel walked toward the window of the office. Cars were moving far below. The city looked normal, but Michael's life was anything but normal. Daniel finally answered, "With the people who raised you." Michael's chest tightened. "My parents are dead." Daniel looked at him calmly. "That's what you were told." Michael's heart skipped. "What are you saying?" Daniel turned back slowly. "Michael, your parents didn't die in an accident." Michael's voice shook. "Stop!" Daniel ignored him. "They disappeared." Michael slammed his hand on the desk. "Stop!" The room fell silent. Daniel watched him carefully. "You deserve the truth," he said quietly. Michael shook his head. "No." Daniel continued anyway. 30 years ago, your parents adopted 2 boys. Michael's breathing became heavy. "You and me." Michael stared at him. "They didn't choose between us," Daniel said. "They took both of us." Michael frowned. "Then where were you?" Daniel's eyes darkened. "I was taken away." Michael felt confused. "By who?" Daniel whispered. "By the same people Emily works for." Michael's mind felt like it was breaking. "You're lying!" Daniel stepped closer. "Am I?" He pulled a folder from his jacket. Old documents slid onto Michael's desk. Adoption papers, hospital records, names, dates. Michael's hand started shaking as he read them. Everything matched. Everything. Daniel spoke quietly. "Your parents discovered something." Michael looked up. "What?" Daniel whispered. "They realized the adoption agency wasn't real." Michael felt cold. "What do you mean?" Daniel leaned closer. "It was a research program." Michael's voice cracked. "For what?" Daniel answered with one word. "Twins." Michael froze. Daniel continued. "They wanted to study identical twins raised in different environments." Michael's heart pounded. "They separated us." Michael slowly shook his head. "This can't be real." Daniel pointed at the documents. "Look at the signatures." Michael's eyes moved across the paper. Then he saw it. A name, one that made his stomach drop. It was the name of the company where Michael worked. Michael whispered, "My job." Daniel nodded. "Exactly." Michael felt dizzy. "You're telling me," Daniel finished the sentence, "you've been working for them your entire life." Michael suddenly remembered something strange. All the psychological evaluations at work, all the personality tests, all the medical checkups the company insisted on. It never made sense before. Now it did. Daniel watched him. "Your entire life has been an experiment," Michael whispered. "And Emily?" Daniel sighed. "She was assigned to you 3 years ago." Michael's heart shattered. "You mean—" Daniel nodded slowly. "Yes, she was never your wife." Michael felt the room spin. "No." Daniel's voice was cold. "She was your observer." Part 5. The Truth About Emily. Michael drove home faster than he ever had before. His hands were shaking on the steering wheel. Daniel's words repeated in his head. "She was never your wife. She was your observer." Michael didn't want to believe it. He couldn't believe it. But the documents, the photos, the records, everything pointed to the same truth. Michael burst through the apartment door. "Emily!" She was standing in the kitchen, like she had been waiting. Her face looked pale. "Michael?" He walked toward her slowly. "Tell me the truth." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "What truth?" Michael threw the folder onto the table. The papers scattered everywhere. Emily looked at them. Her face turned white. "You met Daniel," she whispered. Michael's voice was shaking. "Was any of it real?" Emily didn't answer. Michael's chest tightened. My wedding. Silence. My life. Silence. My love? Emily started crying. Michael's heart broke. Answer me, Emily whispered. It started as a mission. Michael felt like someone stabbed him. But... Michael looked up. But what? Emily wiped her tears. But I fell in love with you. Michael laughed bitterly. Right. Emily shook her head desperately. I'm serious. Michael whispered. You were spying on me. Emily nodded slowly. Yes. Michael's voice broke. For how long? Emily whispered. 3 years. Michael felt like he couldn't breathe. Why? Emily hesitated. They wanted to see if environment changes personality. Michael froze. What do you mean? Emily looked at him with fear. They wanted to know which twin would become dangerous. Michael's frame froze. What? Emily whispered something that made the room feel ice cold. They believed one of you would eventually become a psychopath. Michael's mind exploded with anger. So you watched me like a lab rat? Emily cried harder. I tried to stop it. Michael shook his head. You lied to me every day. Emily whispered. Not about loving you. Michael laughed again. Of course. Emily suddenly grabbed his arm. You're in danger. Michael pulled away. From who? Emily's voice trembled. From Daniel. Michael froze. What? Emily whispered. Daniel wasn't supposed to find you. Michael's heart pounded. Why? Emily looked terrified. Because he already killed someone. Michael's blood ran cold. Who? Emily whispered. The scientist who ran the experiment. At that moment, Michael's phone vibrated. A message appeared. From Daniel. It said, Did she tell you the truth? Another message followed. Or should I tell you the part she's hiding? Michael's hands were shaking. What part? He whispered. The next message appeared, and Michael's world collapsed again. Emily wasn't assigned to you. She volunteered. Michael stared at the message on his phone. Emily wasn't assigned to you. She volunteered. His hands were shaking. Slowly, he lifted his eyes and looked at Emily. Is that true? He asked quietly. Emily didn't answer. That silence was enough. Michael felt something inside him break. You chose this? He whispered. Emily nodded slowly, tears running down her face. Yes. Michael laughed bitterly. So you chose to spy on me? Emily shook her head. No, I chose to protect you. Michael frowned. Protect me from what? Emily hesitated. From Daniel. Michael's voice became cold. Why? Emily whispered. Because Daniel isn't the dangerous one. Michael felt a chill crawl down his spine. What? Emily slowly stepped back. You are. Michael froze. That's insane. Emily wiped her tears. Michael, you don't remember. Michael stared at her. Remember what? Emily looked terrified. What happened when you were 17? Michael felt confused. I don't know what you're talking about. Emily whispered. You killed someone. The room felt silent. Too silent. Michael slowly shook his head. No. Emily's voice trembled. It was a boy from your school. Michael's heart started racing. That's not true, Emily continued. You pushed him down the stairs during a fight. Michael felt something strange in his head. A memory. A hallway. Shouting. Someone falling. But it felt blurry, like a dream. Michael whispered. That was an accident. Emily looked at him with fear. You didn't even call for help. Michael's breathing became heavy. You walked away. Michael grabbed his head. No, no. Emily stepped closer carefully. They covered it up. Michael looked up slowly. Who? Emily answered. The company. Michael's stomach dropped.
They erased the records. They erased the police report. And they erased part of your memory. Michael felt dizzy. You're lying, Emily whispered. They were testing something. Michael frowned. What? Emily's voice shook. They wanted to see if removing guilt would change a person. Michael's heart pounded. They erased your memory and watched what you became. Michael whispered. And what did I become? Emily looked down. A perfect subject. At that moment, the apartment door slowly opened. Michael turned around. Daniel walked inside, calm, relaxed, like he belonged there. Well, Daniel said, looks like the truth is finally coming out. Michael glared at him. You killed someone. Daniel shrugged. Yes. Michael's fists clenched. Why? Daniel looked directly into his eyes. Because I wanted to see something. Michael frowned. What? Daniel smiled slightly. Which one of us is the monster? The room fell silent. Daniel pointed at Michael. You think you're the good twin. Michael's voice shook with anger. I am. Daniel laughed. Really? He stepped closer. You killed someone and didn't even remember it. Michael froze. Daniel whispered, They erased your guilt. Michael's mind felt like it was collapsing. Daniel continued, But I remember everything. Michael whispered, So you became a killer? Daniel smiled darkly. No, he leaned closer. I became honest. Emily suddenly stepped between them. Stop! Daniel looked at her. You fell in love with him. Emily didn't deny it. Daniel sighed. That's the problem with experiments. He looked at Michael again. You people forget they're watching monsters. Michael felt anger explode inside him. Shut up! Daniel laughed. There it is. Michael's chest was rising and falling fast. Daniel whispered, You feel it, don't you? That anger, that darkness. Daniel stepped even closer. That's the real you. Emily shouted, Michael, don't! But it was too late. Michael punched Daniel. Daniel fell against the wall. For a moment, everything stopped. Daniel slowly wiped blood from his lip. Then he smiled. There it is. Michael's heart was racing. Daniel whispered, The monster. Suddenly, police sirens echoed outside. Emily looked shocked. What? Daniel laughed quietly. I called them. Michael frowned. Why? Daniel answered calmly. Because the experiment is over. The apartment door burst open. Police officers rushed inside. Don't move! Michael froze. Daniel raised his hands calmly. Emily stood there crying. An officer grabbed Michael's arms. Michael Carter, you're arrested. Michael looked confused. For what? The officer answered. For the murder of Daniel Hayes. Michael blinked. What? He looked around. Daniel was standing there, alive, smiling. He turned back to the officer. He's right there. The officer looked confused. Who? Michael pointed. Daniel! But when he turned, Daniel was gone. The room was empty. Emily was crying. The officer spoke slowly. Michael, Daniel Hayes died 10 years ago. Michael's world stopped. What? The officer continued. You were his twin brother. Michael's voice broke. That's impossible. The officer looked seriously. You pushed him down the stairs. Michael felt his legs collapse. No, the officer said quietly. You killed him. Emily whispered through tears. They couldn't erase everything. Michael's mind went blank. All the conversations, all the meetings, everything suddenly made sense. Daniel was never there. He had been talking to himself.